Who'd have thought it? Cooking's cool again. A year or so ago, the kitchen was the most obsolete room in the house. Losers cooked, high flyers ate out in flash restaurants. Remarkable what a global recession and a couple of hit TV shows can do, isn't it? So it should be no surprise that our master chefs have become the hottest things on two legs. And they don't come any hotter than Curtis Stone and Luke Mangan. They're now on the international A-list, the new must-have celebrities, hobnobbing with the stars, teaching the Americans how to cook a decent feed, and making a small fortune along the way. In the world of celebrity chefs, America is king. And for 33-year-old Australian chef Curtis Stone, there's no better place to be.
You know, I think everything in America is bigger, you know, so they get a lot more excited. They do everything a bit bigger scale, you know.
Curtis Stone has hit the Big Apple, and on the talk show circuit, they love him to the core.
I almost tipped off my feet. You are just so doggone good looking.
Oh, Wendy!
What has happened that we now have a world of celebrity chefs? The world cannot get enough of Curtis Stone.
It's bizarre. I've got no idea.
Happy about it?
I'm not complaining. I mean, we were the stinky bunch, and somehow it's gone full 360, and now, you know, we've turned into the new rock stars. It's ridiculous, but I love it.
Yeah, what are you saying, Luke?
Oh, he's good.
Who's that pinching my behind? Whoa!
Okay, Luke, smile. You're a happy man.
On the other side of the country, in San Francisco, Luke Mangan, another Australian chef, is being smothered with attention.
You're beautiful, beautiful.
Well, they like you here too.
I think so.
They actually know who Luke Mangan is.
Oh, no, please.
They do.
Do they?
Yeah, I've seen the write-ups. Luke's come to town.
Yeah.
Actually, it's lucrative has come to town.
It's kind of like the new Hollywood, isn't it?
Well, you know, I'm not sure I'm going to get an Oscar anytime soon, but...
But you'll be cooking at it.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, that's possible, but I've been cooking for nearly 25 years, 30 years, so it didn't happen overnight.
Be fast, be fast,
Quick,
fast.
be quick, look at that.
Don't be too thick, don't be too thick.
Look at this, I'm getting a hang of it.
Chefs are the new celebrities, and cooking shows are television's ratings bonanza.
Sprinkle that over our tuna, like I said, nice and rough out here.
For Curtis, it started with the cooking shows surfing the menu.
Just a little bit more of the garlic butter. You don't want too much, so just a little bit more over the top.
Look how good this is.
For Luke, it was appetising adventures.
Why are you laughing?
Both introducing the basics of cooking to a new generation.
And if you want to get your hands into the bowl and give it a big squish, a big mix. We went from eating out in restaurants once every 2 weeks to 3 or 4 times a week. So I think what happened was a lot of that skill set, I'm talking about the person at home cooking for the family, was lost. So, and when that's lost, it's hard to get it back. Then how do you go about getting that knowledge? And the knowledge comes from people like me, chefs.
Today in Curtis's LA home, it's my turn to learn.
Stone, you're laughing at me already.
No, I'm not. You want it to be nice and even.
And how can you possibly go wrong with pizza?
Because when you spin, then you're sort of forcing it to stretch.
I've got a little see-through.
You don't want those see-through bits just yet. These are going to end up nice and big, these pizzas, believe it or not.
Mine's got a little saggy. Such is my life.
Curtis's luxury home is his office, right here in the heart of Hollywood.
Does Cameron Diaz really live next door to you?
She lives up the road.
Have you popped up and asked to borrow a cup of sugar?
My dad was quite keen on figuring out which fence it was so he could drill a hole through it.
Ironically, when Curtis was 16, his dad almost put an end to his career before it started.
He had a bit of a funny moment with me. He said, "Do you want a beautiful wife?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, do you know who gets a beautiful wife? the guys with a bit of money. So what you want to do is put your head down for year 11 and 12, go to university and make a decision then. So I was
How
like,
smart is your dad?
fair enough, he played to my weakness.
He qualified to study law, but the call of the kitchen proved too great.
I wanted to open a restaurant 10 years ago and it hasn't happened, you know, because I was in London and got offered an incredible position with Marco Pierre White, and I couldn't turn that down, so I did it. And then the next thing was a TV show, and I couldn't turn that down, so I did it. And then the next thing was...
Oprah was calling.
That's
I
right.
couldn't turn that down.
I just realized it was not a TV bite. And now I can't hardly talk, but okay.
For Curtis, success came without a restaurant, while Luke's success is because of restaurants. He has 4, 2 in Tokyo, 1 in Sydney, and this one in San Francisco.
What have we got happening here? The little, that's a gastrique.
How does a chef from Australia, an interloper basically, come into a foreign country and set up shop and get away with it?
Well, it can be a bit risky, but, you know, it's worked, and we're nearly 3 years old, so it's all about having that point of difference.
Because we don't see many American chefs coming down under.
There's none, is there?
That's right. My point is, how the hell do you get away with it?
Because Australian food's better. No more Americans will watch this, will they? There we go.
Go on.
Lizzie, this is living.
Will I be eating this for the rest of the day?
No.
I will be. Mind you, even Luke can be tempted by the great American hot dog.
All in one, Lizzie. The key to it is to make sure you get the tomato and mustard all around your mouth.
All in one go. Luke is one of 7 boys in the Mangan family. He's worked in Michelin star restaurants across Europe and rubbed shoulders with the rich and famous. Not bad for a kid who left school at 15. You were invited to leave school. I'm putting it nicely.
Yeah, that is nice.
What were your school reports like?
D, E, Fs. I mean, they were embarrassing.
And what did you think about yourself at the time? Did you think you had a career, a life?
Well, you know, I did get a C in geography. And that, you know, I look back now and wonder why I got a C in geography. I've travelled the world, so I've been really lucky in that aspect. But
so there was a hint?
I reckon it was. But, yeah, who knows? I mean, it was pretty bad.
How do you sell a product in a place like this?
It's hard. I mean,
Luke's teachers today would be proud, if not a little surprised. Luke Mangan is now a multi-million-dollar brand.
But really, we're talking about Luke Mangan Inc. here. You are making some serious money.
Well, we're planning on it.
All of this equals a pretty big business.
It does, and then that's what we're trying to expand. And once we get it into the US market, maybe Asia and things like that, sell the oils on the airlines that we do and things like that.
Oh yeah, the airline, I forgot.
This is my ultimate dream. Sitting in not a bad seat.
It's not bad, is it?
But also seated beside the chef is serving up the nosh.
Luke's business extends to 33,000 feet up, dishing out food on Virgin America Airlines.
You should be a chef. That's amazing.
And he's just announced restaurants on cruise ships. It's pretty audacious, though, isn't it, for an Australian chef to want to conquer the world?
Well, I wouldn't think so. I think it's pretty cool.
Maybe that's the difference between you and those who came before you. You have the belief that you can do it.
Yeah, you saying I'm a bit cocky?
Being a celebrity chef is as much about image as it is about cooking. Curtis Stone trades on plenty of sex appeal.
See, all my friends are going to be so jealous because the first time I ever met Wendy Williams, I cooked their breakfast.
Oh, yes. I love the food. Are you single?
I am.
Might I suggest that you are actually selling sex?
Selling sex. Well, there you go. Whatever works.
It's a sex appeal thing, isn't it? That truly is putting you out there.
You know, I think cooking's a really sexy thing. I think caring for each other is a really sexy thing, and providing beautiful food for each other is. So, yeah, I think there's elements of sexiness there for sure.
You're trading on your sex appeal.
Do you think?
I do think.
So now you've just brought it to my attention. I always thought it was just because I could cook.
You have to say cheese.
Cheese.
Beautiful.
You celebrity chefs a little, wary of each other?
The chefs have got huge egos. You know, that's sort of that.
I'm a little surprised not.
That's why we are where we are. So anyone that tells you there's no rivalry is just a liar. There's a lot.
Are people reluctant to have you over?
Yep.
And how do you get over that? I mean, how do you tell them it's all right?
I go. I mean...
You end up cooking.
Yeah, well, I do sometimes. I help. But I love it. I love a home-cooked simple meal, a roast or anything. As long as people don't try too hard.
I'd be totally intimidated.
Lizzie, you can cook for me anytime.
Luke Mangan and Curtis Stone set out to be chefs and ended up businessmen.
Cheers! Congratulations!
Chowing down on a huge side serving of celebrity. Aren't you somewhat pinching yourself?
Yeah, I do. It's been a cool journey, you know, and it's been a lot of fun. I've loved every minute of it, and
It ain't over yet.
it's not over. So
That's the best
that's the
bit.
best part.